Hello, my name is Bruna Vladović, and I'm a third-year student of Conservation Restoration at the Arts Academy in Split. I'm presenting a poster that I created with my professor, Sagita Mirjam Sunara. The poster is titled, After the Earthquake, a proposal for the packing, transportation, and future display of a damaged object from the Zagreb Museum of Arts and Crafts. The earthquake that hit Zagreb in March 2020 caused significant damage to museum collections. It occurred amidst the first COVID-19 lockdown when severe travel restrictions were enforced. I was in my second year of study at the time. One of the courses I followed was Preventive Conservation 2, a course taught by Professor Sunara. In order to make the content of the course more relevant to students, she designed the problem-based learning exercise related to the events in Zagreb. She assigned each student one damaged object or a group of objects from Zagreb's museums. She did not give us any information about the assigned object, only a photograph of its post-earthquake condition. She sourced photographs from the museum's Facebook pages. We were given two tasks. First, we had to write guidelines for the packing and transportation of the damaged object or objects to a conservation restoration studio outside Zagreb. The professor told us that we would not be able to carry out or oversee these activities due to travel restrictions. Therefore, we had to write extremely detailed instructions so that even an untrained person can carry out the work. In the second part of the assignment, we had to write a proposal for the future seismic protection of the assigned object. Here you can see the object that was assigned to me. It is an 18th century long case clock from the Zagreb Museum of Arts and Crafts. During the earthquake, the object overturned and fell on its front, and the uppermost part shattered into pieces. My first step was to collect information about the object. I obtained general information from the museum's online database. The 360-degree view of the museum's permanent display, which is available through Google Arts and Culture, enabled me to understand how the object was displayed. Regarding the packing and transportation of the object, my proposal was to first collect and pack the pieces that are in more danger of getting lost, and then to proceed to bigger elements. The fragments should be packed according to the material, glass, wood, or metal. 3 or 4 boxes and crates would be needed. When the elements are packed, each box should be marked with the object's inventory number. Information about the content of the box should also be added. All the boxes should be stored at the same location until transport. The storage location would have to be climate controlled and secure. When the boxes are handed over to the transportation company, it should be stressed that their contents are fragile and that they have to be handled with care. Proposing a solution for the future display of the object was more challenging. Without a thorough understanding of the mechanics of seismic events in Zagreb area and the anatomy of the object in question, it was very difficult to tell how it should be displayed to avoid damage in case of a new earthquake. I consulted the literature on earthquake damage mitigation that Professor Sunara shared with us, and I concluded that key issues with this particular object are its height, as compared to its small footprint, the rigidity of its construction materials, and presumably a high center of gravity. So the object should probably not be anchored to the floor or secured to the wall. What could then be an appropriate solution? I found inspiration in the city of Zagreb, in the so-called rockets. These are 3 apartment buildings that have external buttresses at 4 corners. The buttresses make the building more earthquake resistant. What I propose for the long case clock from the Zagreb Museum of Arts and Crafts is a contour mount, a supportive restraint that follows the object's exterior form. You can see an example on this slide. The design and the material for the mount should be selected in consultation with the curator and the display designer. I would like to conclude my presentation with a brief assessment of the problem-based learning assignment that we were given. Professor Sunara wanted us to reflect on what we would do if we had to respond to a disaster. She also wanted us to think about what can be done to make museum collections more earthquake resistant. We managed to tackle both issues. Along the way, we became more aware of the importance of preventive conservation measures. To a certain extent, we now even feel prepared to respond in case of a disaster. But most importantly, because the scenario that we were presented with was so realistic, we had a feeling that we were actually contributing to salvage operations in Zagreb, in which unfortunately we could not directly participate. I invite you all to have a look at our poster, and I thank you for your attention.